Thank you very much, Professor Imbichi sir, and my dear colleagues. Whenever I think about a classroom, I always think about the possibilities of a classroom. And it starts from the presence of the students. As a teacher, I am receiving presence of the students in a classroom, in a room. They are there and they are ready to listen. They have willingness to listen. And the background knowledge always encourages me. They are not alien or they are not extra terrestrials. They never came from moon or any other planet. They are coming with a certain background knowledge. So that is another possibility. No need to start from alphabetic A. I can start from H or Y or Z even. So this is one of the most important possibilities, the background knowledge for several things. As education is considered to be a gradual and progressive process of ordering the traits. So never we get persons illiterate to some illiterate is like anything. So you have a starting point. This is one of the most important things. And another important aspect of the possibility of the classroom is the relationship is not for 1 day or 2 days. It is a continuous relationship. The continuity of the relationship always encourages me or a teacher to go with them, to move with them. I always remember the words of Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi once told, "There go my people, there go my people. I have to go with them because they think that I am their leader." Ada പോകുന്നു എൻ്റെ ജനത, അവർ വിചാരിക്കുന്നു ഞാൻ അവരുടെ നേതാവാണെന്ന്, എനിക്ക് അവരോടൊപ്പം പോകണം. I have to move with them. Always a classroom talks to you silently. Hey teacher, you are here. You have to move with us because we think that you are our leader, and we always move with the group of the students. And this is continuity. So it is not for one particular hour or a particular day or a particular week. It's a continuous process in which you are transmitting certain messages continuously in a progressive order. That is another possibility. And you make a good relationship. So you can make a healthy and very strong relationship. So if you are making a public speech, so your audience is in the space of public, the most outer circle. The relationship in the public space is always very formal. There is nothing to say emotionally like that, or there is no intimate relationship. From the public to the first class of the teacher will be always public interaction. So within few hours itself, it will be moving towards social space, public space to social space. In social space, you know each other. They know you are a teacher. They know you are a teacher who belongs to Calicut. They know a teacher who can present very well or not well. So from this space, from the social space, gradually the relationship will move to the personal space. Public, social, and personal. When the teacher enters to the personal space, so it will be a healthy relationship in between student and teacher. It will be a knowing each other relationship. Teacher knows some of the positive traits of the student, and the student knows about the teacher, the capacity, the ability, even the inability, the weaknesses of the teacher. And from the personal space, the last space in the inner circle is intimate space. This is the possibility. Teaching can be a travel, teaching can be a journey with a student from public to intimate space. This is the most important possibility. A public to the intimate space. In intimate space, no doubt, there will be a very, very warm relationship, a pleasant relationship. Maybe you will be remarking the negative things, but that will be taken positively, just like the friendship. The friends may deny you, the friends may critically evaluate you, but you will love the friends because of some other reasons. This possibility of movement, this possibility of mobility from public to the personal space always make teacher-student relationship some worthwhile relationship. In classroom, there are certain unwritten rules. That is another possibility. So there will not be, if I am taking a class, nobody will dance. It is an unwritten rule. So at the time of the class, you have to sit and listen, or you can reflect, or you can critically evaluate. That is not. That never means that you have to. Students never get out at the time of the class, especially in Indian context. These are unwritten rules in the classroom. Minimum space is to be managed. There is no. It is not a hall. It is not a maidan. It is not a big area like a beach or seashore. It is a small hall. And this small hall has walls. Walls means there is a very protecting material partition for the space. And that will keep always the confidentiality of the classroom. Then another thing is the students are young and they are very receptive. They are very receptive. If you attend a class for the lower level classes, say the kindergarten to 7th or 8th grade, you can feel like anything. They are receptive. What the teacher says, it is well received. And almost they are trained to receive. They are trained to... Teachers are always encoding the message. In the process of communication, a person who wants to communicate always plan what to be said, what to be communicated, what to be transmitted. And this process is known as encoding. Encoding is to be a fruitful process when the message is decoded by the students. Encoding done by the teacher, decoding done by the students. This decoding process is done a fruitful experience by the presentation skills. But the point is, it is a possibility that students are well received. They are ready to, they are trained to decode. Avarkadu decode cheyidedukkan ariyam. You give a concept, you are giving a concept, you are presenting a concept, you are presenting, you are presenting or an idea, you have encoded and you make it as a message, and this message is to be decoded. The student is trained to decode. And if the student is not possible to decode, then that is a block, that is a noise. Here, most of the students are positively trained to receive. These are some of the possibilities of the classroom. So if you are a conductor in the bus or in a train, you are not well received and you have no positive audience. There is no intimate relationship. There is no process of decoding. He says something and you receive something. And if you have any doubt, if you ask a doubt to a conductor or a driver or a person in the police station, the situation will be different. Here, the teacher can explain. Students may recollect. Students may recollect it, repeat it. So in that way, classroom is a possibility. Students are in front of the teachers. Willingness to listen is an important aspect of the audience. Then background knowledge is an important thing in the process of transmitting the culture and it make it easy. Then continuity of the relationship, which is very evident in the classroom. It is an 1 year, at least an 1 year relationship or 1 semester relationship in between two persons. made under a non-verbal contract, and this non-verbal contract also keeps the unwritten rules in between the teacher and students, the minimum space to be managed, so it is easy to manage a classroom rather than a big maidan. Then they are very young and very receptive. The young mind can receive many things easily. Then they are receptive. They are trained to receive. They are trained to decode. They are conditioned to decode. This possibility makes a teacher more creative, or this has to make a teacher more creative. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കിട്ടുന്ന ഈ വിഭവം എത്രത്തോളം നിങ്ങളോട് അടുപ്പം വെച്ച് പുലർത്തുകയും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് സ്വീകാര്യമായ തരത്തിൽ നിൽക്കുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നു എന്നുള്ളത് ഓർക്കുക. You are receiving a target group who are more receptive, more welcoming you, more cooperating with you if you are a proper teacher, if you are properly making a management in the classroom. A creative teacher manages the classroom effectively. And what are the conditions? What are the conditions related with the classroom management? There are certain things to be remembered, points to consider. One, there is a physical setting. So even in online class, there is a physical setting, a virtual classroom, and the students are in a physical setup. It is even the visuals are, even the voices are not directly transmitted. The physical setting is there, number one. Then number two, there is a time regimentation. So I have to start at 5 o'clock. If possible, I have to end it up 6:30. A regimentation of the time is there. That means in a very creative class, if it is done from the different ambience. So, for example, I have seen in Western countries, students are taken to museum, and the art teacher will be, or the aesthetic teacher will be teaching the class, teaching the students from the museum itself. Once I have visited from the Munich Museum, Munich Gallery of Art, I have seen the different groups of students sitting together in small circles. They have been allowed to watch the picture paintings. They said, this is painting by Gauguin, this is painting by Picasso, this is done by Van Gogh. You just go through it, come back, and we will reflect on the what you have seen. The same thing I have seen in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi has a new art gallery supported by French government, and it is one of the most beautiful gallery I have seen, art gallery I have seen. And believe me, the students from the different places are assembling there. So this is one possibility. I am saying this is time regimentation is there, and you can keep the time in that way for 3 hours, for 5 hours, if it is an outside meetings, if it is a study tour. But usually in the classroom, you take 1 hour or 45 minutes. It depends upon the institution. Now, the periodicity is also well known. Weekly once, or weekly twice, or daily twice, there is a periodicity of well-defined and pre-informed periodicity. This periodicity is another point to be remembered. So by knowing that, I have to take this portion today, and I have to continue with next day. One professor was always telling, in his history professor, yesterday I finished Mahatma Gandhi, and today I will finish Jawaharlal Nehru, and tomorrow I will finish Lal Bahadur Shastri. He used the word finish. Then a student was asking, so when you will finish all the leaders? So the thing is, there is a periodicity, and you are taking classes on the basis of a syllabus. Certain part of the syllabus is considered for a session. In that way, we will make it a lesson, and we will make it parts of the lesson. So this regimentation of the concept or the idea or the message to be delivered in the classroom is prepared. That is what we can say lesson planning. Then method of teaching is also another aspect to be considered. If you want to be more creative, I am sure that you have to experiment with the methods. I will mention some of the new methods to be used even in the online classes in the last part. And this method of techniques are making the classes more impressive, more effective, more attractive. ഒരു സംശയമുണ്ട്, നിങ്ങൾ വിഷയത്തിന്റെ ആഴത്തെക്കാൾ കൂടുതൽ ഭൂരിഭാഗം കുട്ടികളും സ്വീകരിക്കുന്നത് വിഷയത്തിന്റെ അവതരണമാണ്. The presentation skill is valued by the students rather than the content in many situations. So it depends upon the methods of teaching. Then the communication. Teacher has material communication and the target communication, the project communication. Communication is heart and brain of the teaching. A teacher has to communicate. A teacher has to present by using a language. Communication is a process in which a message is transmitted by sender to the receiver. Teacher is the sender and the receiver is the students. And this is a person to group communication. If you are talking to one single student, it is person to person communication. But classroom management always tell you that you are communicating to a group of students who are in the different levels of understanding. In that way, the skills in the communication always help the teacher to be more effective. Then the presentation, how to present it, how to present the idea, how to present the idea with an example. And the example should be in the first phase or in the second phase or in the third phase, or a personal experience. I'm talking about painting, and if I'm talking about the painting and Picasso's Guernica that I have seen in one of the best museums in the world, in a tour. It was in Innsbruck, it was in Innsbruck Museum. So the well-known paintings are sending through, invited by the museums, and they exhibit for 6 months. And that 6 months are celebrated by that museum. ഒരു അതിപ്രശസ്തനായിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരാളിന്റെ ചിത്രങ്ങൾ ചില മ്യൂസിയത്തിന് ഒരു ഇന്റർനാഷണൽ നോംസ് വെച്ച് കടം കൊടുക്കുന്നു. And this will, I have seen from Innsbruck, Innsbruck Art Museum, the pictures of the Picasso. My point is this: these can be presented in an effective way. I can talk about Guernica, then I can talk about war. I can talk about the results of the war. And painting Guernica, it reflects the war, a civilian war in the Spanish city called Guernica. And another important thing is exams and tests. We have to evaluate. Evaluation is an important thing in the process of teaching. How to evaluate? We have certain directed norms. We have certain established norms. It can be tests. It can be quiz program. So in IIT, tests are conducted. Internal tests are conducted in the mode of quiz or in the mode of reflections. In the mode of several tools are used by them for the examination. There is not a single mode of examination, writing examination. Even it can be presented verbally. It can be presented. You can make a speech. On the basis of your speech, you will be valued. And this is also a creative teacher's area to be considered. Evaluation is made. Sometimes grading is done or ranking is done. So, which are the most important points to be considered in the process of classroom management? I repeat, the physical setting, number 1. Number 2, time regimentation. Number 3, periodicity. Number 4, syllabus or the content. Number 5, the lessons. Number 6, the methods and tools of the teaching. Number 7, communication. Number 8, the presentation. Number 9, exams or tests for the evaluation. And the last is grading or ranking. These are very crucial in classroom preparation. We will move to the preparation. So we know it, we are doing it, but I will put it in a systematic way. Your preparation starts from your personal observation. Your lessons will be more effective if you start with the personal experiences sometimes. Here, personal experiences can be noted in a diary. I can recollect, I can present when I say something about this particular lesson. And this can be collected. This can be recorded in a diary. The second is reading. Reading is still an important mean for understanding. How to read? So you have to read as a teacher. You have to read as a friend. You have to read as a lover. You have to read as a father or mother. And you can absorb the things to be presented. Then preparing a teacher's plan. So teaching plan or the class plan, what we say. This is the most important thing where you can make the lessons more creative. So usually many teachers, I can remember some of my teachers, not all my teachers, who are coming to the class, presenting the things, the content, and then say, these are the most important questions. Okay, goodbye. No, before presenting the ideas or the content or the lessons, can I share something related with this content? I'm talking about, I'm talking about Indian independent movement. Can I say something about Jallianwala Bagh, where I have visited twice or thrice? Can I say something about the Red Fort, where 1857 riot, the war of first independence has been demolished by the British government by hanging more than 10,000 persons on one stretch in New Delhi, Kashmiri Gate? Can I put it to the students? Then I can start from the national movement from 1857 or Jallianwala Bagh, from my personal experience or from my reading experience. This can be noted. You can prepare it. A creative teacher always prepare a mind mapping tool. Mind mapping is graphically you make an one sheet, a single sheet picture, which can be explained, which can be elaborated, which can be a minute level described. And this will be helped to point out an example, a personal experience, a reading experience, or you can elaborate as you wish. And this is this has been done in a progressive order of the topic. It should be in simple methods of presentation. A good teacher always talk in simple language. Good writer always write in simple language, simple style. Artists all are simply write from their heart. Teacher can put it from the heart. So here, identifying the appropriate examples to clear or to elaborate the points. Even I remember one of my science teacher in the +2 class, in the pre-degree class, pre-degree class, immediately after my SSLC class. I remember Rajashekharan sir, who was in the Guruvayurappan College's physics teacher. He always explained his examples. Here, he correlated with music, he correlated with the film, he correlated with the characters in the film, and then he explained the content or theoretical aspects of physics to be learned. So you never forget it. The students will be learned from the appropriate examples, correlating the teachers, especially the teachers of humanities, teachers of the political science, sociology, history, economics, philosophy. They can correlate the situations to the present situation, contemporary situation, contemporary life situation. And this contemporary, when you link to the contemporary situation, The students will be creatively absorbed what you are presenting. So I was talking about the activities to be incorporated, the exercises to be incorporated. These activities and exercises or games can be designed as per your wish. No need to copy or no need to. That itself is a method done by the creative teachers. And you think about the beginning and the conclusion of the classroom. Now, the preparation is done well. If you are doing preparation very well, I'm sure the classroom is half successful. Will become half success. Then half is to be done from the class, and it can be done half is. So teacher will always say that half is you are only half, and the half is half is. The half is done earlier and half is done later in the classroom. The reading, understanding, preparing teaching plan in a progressive order, making it in simple language, correlating to the contemporary life, the social life, linking with appropriate examples, then putting the ideas in an order, adding activities, games, and exercises, and this will make you something different. Now, you have only prepared, you are not presented. In the presentation, you can present certain cues. There are different types of methods, different types of presentation skills. No need to do one same method in all classes. One teacher വളരെ ആകർഷകമായ രീതിയിൽ ക്ലാസ് എടുക്കുന്നത് unexpected ആയിട്ടുള്ള presentations ഉണ്ടാകുമ്പോഴാണെന്ന് അർത്ഥമുള്ളത്. It should be unpredictable. Today you may start with the music, and today you may, another day you may say something theoretical things first, and so this in that way you can present it in different ways. So I am explaining some of the tools used and well established by well-known teachers. You can at the beginning you can present certain cues, certain points. Cues means points. You can use cue cards. I remember Jim Chaco, one teacher who was in zoology department in my college. He was an American graduate. He completed his PhD and came to Gurayappan College. He was taking classes by using a card or series of cards. And students said, he can't remember the things. That is why he is using cards. Once from the laboratory, I met him and I asked, sir, why you are using cards? The students, my friends are telling that you can't remember the things and that is why you are using cards. He said, I can't remember everything, but I am not because of that reason I am using cue cards. This is cue cards, CUE cards. Cue cards are the framework to be explained, are the things pointed out with examples in the card. And it can be done in white cards with black ink. I have learned it from my teacher in one of the universities in US. So teacher can use cue cards. Cue cards helps you in many ways. You can add the points when you read more. You can modify the cue cards. That means you will always refresh yourself. You have a framework to start, especially the things that you always teach in the class for several years. The basic theories, for example. So the cue cards or the points will be help you in that way. I introduced to you, or many may be knowing that there is a concept called mind mapping. It can be checked in internet, or Tony Busan is a psychologist who have developed mind mapping. Mind mapping is a creative method in which the things to be remembered is put in the form of graphic representations, just like brain. Tony Busan says that the brain is the central CNS, central nervous system, and it has several branches. The content is Indian freedom movement, and the first branch is birth of Indian National Congress. The second branch, it can be put it with the several branches or the branches of the brain through the nerves, and you can put it with the graphical. Chitram varachukondu venamengil ningalkku represent cheyyam. This is mind mapping. Mind mapping, I have used it many students and students in below average level. They could recollect the things if you use mind mapping very well in the process of learning. Teachers can also, a creative teacher always use mind mapping or cue cards for teaching. Now, that is diagrammatic representation or graphic representation of the ideas. In Alice in Wonderland of Lewis Carroll, Alice asks, where is the picture? There is no picture. What is the use of a book without a picture? What is the use of a book without a picture? Picture talks a lot. Picture helps to recollect. Picture keep the image visually. And from the picture, the concept or the idea or the points can be explained. Put it graphically. Even English teacher, I have seen one of the Unnisar in the Gurayapam College again. He was making the graphs of the ideas. Keatsine the poet Keats. And that's padipikkunna graphic blackboard lo whiteboard lo present cheyidukondu ningal onnu padippichu nokki, you can feel the difference. This is diagrammatic representation of the idea. Now, explaining in the presentation, always give some small examples. Examples help to recollect easily, to keep it in the brain. Share your experiences. As a teacher, you may have your own experiences. As a reader, one who reads the books, share the experiences. You can quote, anecdotes can be quoted, quotations can be quoted, and always a creative teacher encourages interaction in the classroom. He is not authoritarian. Yesterday we said he is not or she is not an authoritarian. He presents and he starts with interaction. The discussion will be started with the interaction and it will be clarified. The doubts will be clarified. The questions will be answered. And in such a two-way communication, the learning process makes the students to remember the most of the important things. Now, share the experiences, they will correlate it. And you can raise certain questions. You can raise few questions. No need to say the answer. And these are some of the questions that I feel that you may answer. The questions can be creative questions. In online education, now you are forced to conduct online examinations. The objective questions, you give the answers. Within seconds, in a mobile, the answers will be reaching at the whole classroom. A second, 10 minutes, all answers in the copy that can you use a critical question? Especially in language, literature, humanities, you can use it. You can use this type of questions, evaluative questions, critical questions. Can you critically comment on Marxian theory of class conflict? So in last test paper, I have to teach diaspora. Diaspora is the people who are migrated and formulating a group in Gulf Rajyangalillulla Malayaligal, Pravasigal. So this is diaspora. So I have a lesson regarding diaspora and films. Diaspora and films. I have given a link of one of the Meera Nair's film, Namesake. Lumba Jahiri has written this novel. I was received the Booker Prize and made the film by Meera Nair, and the actor was not Nasiruddin Shah. Anybody can Correct me.
Irfan Khan.
Irfan, thank you very much. Irfan Khan and Tabu, they were in the main roles. What I have done is, one day before I have given a link of Namesake, and I said, you watch this movie, I am sure you will enjoy it. And you can look at the movie by analyzing the diaspora, presented diaspora as a group, as an aligned group in American community. The Bengali community has been depicted in Namesake. And the class, next class attendance, 10%, and everybody has to say something about Namesake. Look, this is one simple technique. You can give one in short film and tell them to watch and see, watch and come back to the class, or tell them to read a book. I have given one title of the book, Vishaganyaga, Escape Attakadu. So it has written in 1948. It is a small novel. It is a small novel, and I have given only the title. I said you can collect the books from library, or if nobody has receiving library books, I can give it the soft copy also. And it's a small book and soft copy was ready. It was about internal migration. The people from the southern part of Kerala has migrated to Malabar, northern part in 1940 to 70. And this has been well depicted by the writer S.K. Pattakar. And after reading that novel, it was easy to start about internal migration. What are the factors related with internal migration? And they said push factors. What are the push factors? Poverty, unemployment. It will push you from your place to move to some other places. And these lower class, lower caste persons were migrating to Malabar, where they may get a piece of land and have agriculture. And what are the pull factors? The Malabar, the soil, the forest, the virgin soil, and the plantations. So it push. The concept is clear. I was explaining Everett Lee's theory of push and pull theory. It was very easy to digest to the student by using the novel or story reading technique. Give a space for personal inquiry. Let them make an inquiries. No need to do it by all the students, but I am sure that some of the students will be doing it, and it will make the classes most beautiful and productive. You give a space for the personal reflections and close the session by saying nothing. So the presentation is most important thing for a creative classroom management. You can do it with a personal experience. You can give the cues. One of the teachers I remember in theme-centered interaction, what he will do is he will write certain points on the blackboard. He will take 2-3 minutes, and he said, I am explaining these major points today. That is his method. So cues can be, points can be presented, posters can be presented, blackboards or whiteboards can be presented, graphics representation can be presented, or from the personal experiences, explain with examples and share the experiences from quoting the personal experiences, quoting from the well-known authors, or anecdotes can be mentioned. Anecdotes. The only thing is you have to relate it to the content. By experience, it is possible. If you are analytically thinking, it is possible. And you give the space for inquiry, personal inquiry for each student, and that will help them to be inside the classroom. And they will go outside the classroom after receiving the most important things. Teachers can apply several tools. Before I say something about the tools, the language is the means for transmission of the message. True. A teacher blessed with one language can have a better class, at least in mother tongue. Or in a foreign language also it can be trained. Yesterday I have mentioned about it. And what about the non-verbal communication means? Verbal communication means is done through the language. There are certain parts to be trained. Number one, posture, where you stand in the classroom. In the classical, in the conventional, in the traditional classroom, teacher was on the platform. I have seen in Christian college and in older colleges, there is a platform. Teacher is on the top. Teacher has some stand for put all the papers and to talk. They never move, or they stand in the center, and always they believe that the teacher is to be the center. This has been questioned. Teacher has to move in the class. Teacher can run. Teacher can even run in the class, because that makes a lively class. Posture is not to be done in a particular place, but body movements are very important. That is one thing. Second thing is facial expressions. Your facial expressions, so that can be eye contact is the most important thing in the facial expressions. You keep eye contact to almost all the students at a time. If you are looking at one group of students who are very good in the classroom, the others will be banished from the classroom. You have to make a feeling that I am looking at you, I am looking at you, I am looking at you, I am looking at all. So this, in a big classroom, this is possible by making small fragments of small groups of students, one by one. And you can throw the order one by, not first to the first group, then the next sixth group, and to the moving to the third group. And you have fortunately got a neck with span throughout the classes. And eye contact is to be kept. Facial expressions, your lips movements, your facial muscles. And what do you say? I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. So this is different. I love you. I love to be with you. I love to be with you. I love to be with you. So this is a simple example for understanding the facial movement. Some teachers are numb without anyone. So today's lesson is about Karl Marx. Karl Marx is considered to be one of them. So it's a plain. So it should be just like waves, and the facial expressions should be synchronized to the ideas of the presentations. Number three, justice. You have got two hands, and these hands can be moved. You can put all the papers with you, but at the same time, you can put all the papers with you, and at the same time, you can move. Or if you are keeping a book, you can keep the book within one hand, and you can, by practice, and if you are not using any book or papers, your hands are completely involved in the process of gestures, and gestures make more creative classes. Then voice modulation. This, I have mentioned, it should not be flat. What I have to say is a flat. What I have to say is, what I wish to present is. So this, again, the modulation of the voice. You need pace, you need pitch, you need pause. Sometimes you have to pause for a short span of time. ഒന്ന് നിർത്തിയിട്ട് സംസാരിക്കുക. എന്താണ് ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളോട് ഇതുവരെ പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഒന്ന് ഓർത്തു നോക്കൂ. This is a pause, and this pause will make a silence, and you again come back. These are the most important three matters I wish to say. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are some of the non-verbal means. Number one, posture. Number two, body movements. Number three, facial expressions. And in facial expressions, most important thing is eye contact and voice modulation. Number 6, voice modulation. And the last is para-language. Language has adindriya language, adhitamaya language. It's a language behind language. And that will be created when you present the lessons in your own way. In your own way, when you present a picture, and keep silence. So that the para language is created. When you show a short film and tell them to watch, and then after the completion of the screening, you just keep quiet. A para language is constructed, developed. And a good teacher, I will complete this for the discussion mode today. A good teacher always look for process of listening. Process of listening. Listening is not hearing. Listening is not hearing. Listening is not a physiological process. Physiologically receive the message, psychologically absorbed, and it is kept in your memory for the recollection. So hearing plus understanding plus grasping is listening. Listening is not hearing. You are hearing as well as perceiving. Some students are pseudo listeners. And I will put it the types of listeners. Some students are pseudo listeners. PSEUDO, Kabata Gelvikar. They pretend that they are listening, but they are not listening. Number two, some students are selective listeners. Selective listeners are listening to certain points. They will be very actively listening to stories or the examples, but they never listen to the theories. These people are selective listeners. Then insulated listener, they listen sometimes, but they forget everything and they may think that somewhere else. They in a world of fantasy. This is insulated listening. Then aggressive listening. Aggressive listening, they are listening to fight. They are listening to criticize. They are listening to blame, to accuse, but they listen, not in a positive way. And another is ambushing listen. Ambushing listening is a listening in which they will attack you. And one pseudo listening, selective listening, they select and listen. Insulated listening. Insulated listening. So in certain situations, they will listen and never continually followed it. Then aggressive listening, they fight and therefore they listen. Ambushing listening, they catch on your throat, and that is why they ambushing listening. Teachers need effective listening. And this effective listening is possible through the creative classes. First thing is, the creative classes can be developed out of imagination. And what is imagination? Think about the topic. How can we presented it in a different way? I have yesterday mentioned about the process of creative mind. A creative mind always think about new ideas. No need to be Picasso, no need to be Yeshudas, no need to be Mahakavi Shankarakurupu or Rabindranath Tagore. Even an ordinary person can think the things in a different way. A teacher can think when he or she prepare the lessons, a new way of idea, new way of presentation, a new idea, number one. Number two, unique. Always creative works are unique. There is no, you have learned from your teachers, but you are different and you are unique. A uniqueness, that uniqueness is important in making class more creative. Then you will combine with old ideas and you will create new ideas. You are innovative and you have divergent thinking. So you will think about another way of presentation. You will not be imitating your own models. You are thinking about certain traits within you and you develop it. It may take few months, but I am sure that if you continue in a very creative way, the classroom will be made more attractive. The creative teacher may use many things. It will not be one-way communication. It will not be speech. It will not be the same way that you present in the last classes. And you will be using the more creative techniques. That creative techniques can be received from the multidisciplinary approach. You are teaching mathematics. That never means that you have to teach only mathematics. I remember one of the teachers in Farooq College, Professor Tahir. Professor Tahir, he is a philosopher. When he say, the students in Tahir sir's class will remember always because of the philosophical deliberations are made. Then the literary explorations are made through the mathematics. A genius. So he uses the different creative tools, and it is not innate or inborn. He developed. I was frequently interacting with Tahir sir regarding the tools and methods that he used in the mathematics MSc class as well as in the +2 class. He will say that, so you read it and you can grasp it and you use it. And you read it, you grasp it and use it. Then you may find that certain tools are effective. Continue it and you modify it. Here, I may complete this discussion with certain tools that you can use, especially in the offline classes. Number one, dyads. Two persons can be combined and you can have classroom. Bench, this is quite easy. If you are using chairs, it is very easy. Even in the bench, it is possible to look at and they can discuss about the points that they have. This is dyads. Discuss the whole class will be dyads in that movement. In so this is in theme-centered interaction, the method of theme-centered interaction, the teachers are always using this method, dyads. Then group of 3, A, B, C. You are making small groups. Now now you can make the groups in Google groups. Google club you can give an exercise to this ABC group. A explains, B receives, C recollects. Present grasp critically assess. Several ways can be used. A will ask to B, B will ask to C, C will ask to A, and the communication will be completed. It's 5 minutes, 10 minutes exercises. You can use dyads in one class. You can use ABC in another class. You can use small group discussions that we always use, and it is very effective. Small group class, small group discussions, and we will tell them to present what they have perceived. Can you prepare a poster out of your discussion? And they will prepare a A4 presentation or a full dummy presentation. And the presentation will be an experience for the other groups also. Can you say, I have thought about Shakespeare, Macbeth. Can you draw a picture of Macbeth? Can you prepare a poster of Macbeth? So you are making it, moving towards another discipline, painting or drawing. No need to be a well-known painter in the classroom. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. And you should not be blame the picture, but you have to look at the content. You have to look at the ideas presented. Draw and reflect. Draw and reflect. Can you express the feeling, especially in language classes and the humanities classes, the marvelous, even the science classes, the marvelous ideas can be reflected in the pictures. And in European classes, even in the junior classes, this is one of the most important tools. If they can visually present it, and this idea will be digested. Can you tell them to prepare a biographical poster, a biographical note on Keats or Tolstoy or on Mahatma Gandhi or on Srinivasa Ramanujan. So the student who can't understand theory in a greater degree will be good in preparing the biographic sketch. Thus, that will help to move to the theoretical mode. Again, I repeat, mind mapping. You can look at the internet and find out the method of mind mapping. Mind mapping can be used in the classroom. Can you prepare a mind mapping diagram on the basis of the lessons that I have taught? ഞാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇന്ന് നൽകിയിരിക്കുന്ന ക്ലാസിന്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഒരു മൈൻഡ് മാപ്പിംഗ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള തലച്ചോറിൽ നിന്നുള്ള ബ്രാഞ്ചസ് വരുന്നതാണുള്ളത്. അത് can you prepare? And two more things, assignments. Unfortunately, we give assignments and students will copy the assignments. Even the dissertations are copied. Even the PhD theses are copied. Even the textbooks are copied. But if a good teacher can value the personal ideas very well, then that will be helping students to make assignments, produce assignments with genuine character. One student in my classroom said, "Sir, I am interested in making a small research on bus travel." I said, "It is possible." And Jeffra, now he is working in Kaladi Sri Shankara College, who was, when he was a student in the first degree class, his assignment was on bus travel. He said the conflict outside the bus always reflect in the bus. ബസ്സിന് പുറത്തുള്ള കോൺഫ്ലിക്റ്റ് ബസ്സിനകത്തും കാണാൻ സാധിക്കുമെന്നുള്ളത്. Then he said, when you sit in a seat, you will be getting only one stand to put the hands to. അയാളുടെ അടുത്തിരിക്കുന്ന ആളിന്റെ കയ്യും എന്റെ കയ്യും വെക്കാൻ ഒരൊറ്റ സ്പേസേ ഉണ്ടാവുള്ളൂ. And some people will conquer that space, and some people will rebellious move will be done in this conflict. And it is a wonderful original part. And you know that what was his, after graduation, he has gone to Delhi University for MA. He has done MPhil from Delhi University, and now he has presented his PhD thesis that is on markets in the big bazaars in Kerala. Big bazaars in Kerala, the social history of big bazaar. It's a beautiful work I have seen. I have read some of the chapters. The thing is, if you give a chance in working with their own idea, group work with their own idea, I am sure that they will be moving in a different way, and that makes classes more creative. I can if you have space in the classroom, if you are doing something, especially in leadership workshops, you can use carpet painting. Painting will be done by the group of students in silence, and you can give a theme. You can say something, national movement, Indian national movement or independent movement. You can put any symbols in this poster in any corner of the carpet, a white paper, big white paper, without talking each other. You can take one of the pencils, one of the crayons. So if you want green color, you have to take green color, and your picture will be in green color in this carpet. And others can understand that the green is representing person X and red is Y, like that. This is carpet painting. In some other, in a big classes with the spaces, it can be done. Picture talk is another. Two persons are doing pictures on a particular theme without talking each other. And one person may be E is equal to MC square, relativity theory, and he may be doing it with the equation. Some person can be in the same paper, can be picturized visually, and this combination will be a great move to understand the things in a different way. I stop here. The classroom is more creative when the teachers are more creative, and there is big chance to make classroom, even online classes, creative if you are experimenting with the new ideas, if you are moving with the new ideas, if you are open-minded, if you are not slaves of certain ideas. ഏതെങ്കിലും ചില ആശയങ്ങളുടെയും ചില രീതികളുടെയും അടിമകളാണെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഒരിക്കലും പുതിയ ആശയങ്ങളിലേക്ക് സഞ്ചരിക്കാൻ സാധ്യമല്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഈ സഞ്ചാരം സഫലമാകണമെങ്കിൽ, if your travel as a teacher is to be worthful, you have to be modify yourself, you have to be correct yourself, you have to move with the innovative ideas. An innovative teacher is the most creative teacher in the classroom as well as outside the classroom. I stop here for the discussion.